Hey, everyone. I am super excited for today. My name is Jackie Jensen, and I'm here with my amazing friend, Kylie Rigler, who has literally made such an incredible impact in this industry. I was actually joined this company about 15 months ago, and I've been absolutely floored by getting to work with Kylie. She's one of the best of the best. And I'm not just saying that because she's one of my amazing friends, but she is like an incredible mentor, an incredible person. She cares about her team. Not to mention, she has made a crazy amount of money in this industry. So, Kylie, I'm hoping today, I would just love to hear a little bit about your story. So, will you talk to us? I know that you were a hairstylist. Will you talk to us just kind of about kind of how you got into this industry and that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, 10 years I spent as a hairstylist. I was actually a college dropout, had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I thought I wanted to be a nurse once upon a time, but then I went to cosmetology school. I loved it. Did that for 10 years. But the biggest pain point I had was that I was spending every night, every weekend behind the chair. And it was fun for me. But once I started to have kids, I was like, dude, like, am I gonna have to do this forever? Because I wanted to be the one to tuck my babies in at night. Like my husband would send me little videos where he was singing to them, and I was like, man, I need to be there. And then the
Yeah.
same with Saturdays, I just remember there being this like crazy tension between me and my mom because I was always asking her to babysit, and she's like, honey, I raised 6 of you. Like I don't want to keep doing that every weekend. And so that was the biggest thing for me is I loved what I did, but I just didn't know that there were other options for me until I was introduced to this industry. So it's crazy.
Awesome. Okay. So, just tell us a little bit about your journey in this industry. So, before you started, what was your kind of thoughts about direct sales in general? And then tell us a little bit about like where you started and just a little bit about the success you've had. Don't be modest. I really want people to hear just the success that you've had in this industry.
For sure. So the biggest thing that I have to tell people is my disclaimer is that I went from making about 30 grand a year. I told you I was a college dropout. My resume was really unimpressive. I got fired from my first 2 jobs as a hairstylist. I had a bad attitude and I slept in a lot. I did not like being on time. Big surprise. So I can't really say that this industry was ever, the network marketing space. It was nothing that I knew about. I had been invited to a few home parties, different products, 31, Pampered Chef. Gosh, what are some of the other ones? Scentsy, right? The candle warmers or whatever. And I love the products, but nobody had ever shared that there was actually a business model attached to these things. I just thought, it was one of those things you do a favor for a friend. And then I started to see social media becoming a place for this industry. So that was back in 2014. A good friend of mine who was also a hairstylist, she owned a salon in Indiana. She started promoting a makeup product, believe it or not. And as a hairstylist, I was like, oh, that's cool. I reached out to her and I thought, I'll try it. I mean, support my friend, and it looked like a cool product. And literally all she said to me is, hey, you can buy it for this much or you can sell it and make money. And I was like, cool, I don't have that much money, so might as well.
Yeah.
If I can make money, that would be neat. And so I just jumped in really not knowing anything, not expecting much. I think my first goal was like $500 a month. I just thought, if I can make $500, maybe I don't have to work every Saturday, or maybe Chad didn't have to go into work and work overtime. Mm-hmm. So that was really where I started. But the biggest deciding factor for why I decided to show up at like a level that I never knew I was capable of was I saw a woman, and I remember she had shared inside of this Facebook group that she was earning something upwards of like $30,000 a month. Okay. So keep in mind, at that point in my life, I was making $30,000 a year. And so I was like, hold on. I was like, I need to figure this thing out. And so I just became like the most hungry, the most coachable person. I was like, if she can do it, surely I can do it. And so I just jumped in, you guys. I had no idea what I was doing. And I feel like people in our industry say that all the time. The biggest thing is that your excitement is going to trump fear, and it's going to trump your knowledge every single time. And so what I was able to do is I built to the top of that company in my first 9 months, and literally ignorance on fire. That's all it was. And I think it was it was my first year and I walked away from the salon. I remember my clients thinking that I was absolutely crazy to walk away from my career. My husband, I'm not sure what he thought yet, but he saw the paycheck, so he was okay with it. And then it was about 4 years in that he and I decided that he could quit his warehouse.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's just absolutely mind blowing. I've worked with over 50,000 people in my career, built teams all over the world. And again, I just never dreamed what was possible. I've earned well over 7 figures in this industry just over the past 8 years, you guys. And I'm telling you right now that if I can do this, I really do believe anybody can. I don't believe everybody will. That's the biggest difference is there are a lot of people that quit on themselves way too fast. Same reason that gyms are full in January, they're not so full in February, right? And so I just always tell people, like, if you'll just give it a shot and then commit to it. I don't care how motivated you are. I care how committed you are, because I hope that my story would inspire somebody to give themselves a chance, because you got to be looking at me right now going, well, this idiot can do it. Surely I can, right? Like, that's the way I think.
Okay, so one of my favorite parts about Kylie's story, just because I know her really well, is that she was making 5 figures per month at this company. Continued on, she was making at one point more than she was making per year as a hairstylist. Just say she built a pool in her backyard, like it was amazing. But she was still making 5 figures per month, and she decided to transition into a new company. So Kylie, can you tell us a little bit about why you did that, first of all, and then what that transition was like? Like if someone that's already in a space that isn't really happy with where they're at, and maybe considering it, will you just kind of like walk them through why you made that decision and then what's happened since?
One of the scariest decisions I think I've ever made, and I really hope that this does reach somebody maybe that is in my position. I called it the golden handcuffs. Okay. So I made way too much money to walk away, but I didn't have the confidence that I could look somebody in the eye and tell them, yes, you can win. Like absolutely 100%. I can show you how to do what I just did. What we were missing is we didn't have a true system in place to really plug in that newest person with no experience. I felt like while our company, and this isn't any shame on the company, but people in general, they were really moving toward this influencer model.
Right.
So you had to be so popular on social media to win. And because I wasn't the popular girl in school, I started this business with 700 Facebook friends, no followers, didn't even know anybody in my town. Guys, I just knew everybody through my husband. And I was actually really, really shy growing up. I just have never connected to that. Like if you tell me that you have to be well above average to make it happen, like I just don't believe in that. I want the opportunity that anybody can win. And so that's kind of where I was, is I made a lot of money, but I wasn't happy because I didn't feel that I was helping other people make a lot of money anymore. There was a point where I was, but it just really shifted. Things change. And so when I saw the opportunity that we have, first of all, it came down to a product, several products, and I wanted to be able to help men, women, children, people from all different walks of life, not just women that were into makeup or cosmetics, right? And so the products were big. The testimonies that I was hearing were completely mind blowing, and there were impact health products. And if you've never been introduced to an impact health product, what that means is it's not a 30-day result. It might be a 5-minute result. It might be the first day result. Some of our products, maybe 3 to 5 days, right? And so when I saw that, I was like, holy crap. Like that's where I made my first million, was an impact product, but having it in the health and wellness space, that was huge. And then when I saw the compensation plan, what I saw was not just a roadmap for me to recreate my level of success, but it was where I could take that newest person. I don't know if you guys remember me saying it, but I started with a goal of $500 a month. That newest person can make $600 a month at the very first level. Amazing. And that was, if they didn't rank advanced though, they could actually make over $1,000 a month, right. $2,000 a month. And I was like, this is an amazing dual-sided compensation plan. And so I just knew that I could finally look somebody in the eye again and say, you can win here. And Jackie, you're such a good example of that. I mean, honestly, you came in, had no idea what you were doing. I mean, you've been in the industry before, but this is a whole different build. And I don't know that I can say how much you earned in your first month, but I mean, it's more than most people earn in a year of working. So I was pretty excited to see that, because you were the proof in the pudding that the system was working when people work. So.
Yes. So good. Okay. I know Kylie has to jump on another call, but I want to ask you one more question. I know you love to travel so much. So will you kind of share what that has done, not only for you, but for your kids. Kind of go over some of the places that you have traveled and then what's on the docket for this next year.
Oh my gosh, just in the time. So I've been in this company now for just over 2 years. And just in this opportunity alone, I say travel is my love language. First of all, there are 3 incentive trips a year, not to mention leadership retreats. So we've been to Utah. We have been, that's just in leadership. Utah's cool, right? It's fun. It's beautiful there. But my very first year, we went to Punta Cana, Puerto Vallarta. The next year, I think it was Cabo, Cancun, Tulum. We went to Greece last spring.
And she took her kids.
And we took our kids. This is the thing, like flights have been covered. The trip has been covered. There was a trip, you remember, actually Brandon and Krista, I remember. So Brandon and Krista were part of the team that introduced Jackie to this business. And they were the #1 trip point earners in the whole company. They had like the suite of all suites. We were all hanging out in there. It was like
a house.
The Trump Tower. I don't even know. It was amazing. So they were there. We all had amazing rooms. That was the one trip that my husband couldn't take. I don't remember why he stayed home, but my sister-in-law came and she was just like, this is so bougie. Like, I can't believe that you guys do this. So we've gone to lots of destinations. Greece was definitely a favorite for sure. We're going to Italy this June.
Amazing.
Mexico this May. Like, there's just so many trips on the list. And so I always tell people, like, you don't have to do this full time, but if you want to, like, you're going to be traveling a lot. It's going to be really fun. So I absolutely love that.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Kylie, thank you so much for coming today and just being part of this. I know you have another call to jump on, but guys, if you haven't heard any of this and think, okay, I'm ready to take the leap, go back to the person who invited you, or if you're friends with Kylie, go to her. If you're friends with me, come to me. I know we would love to get you plugged into our simple systems and help you win with Turn On. All right. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.